Mr. Abu Bakar. And must focus on the sub-theme assigned to the team. The duration of the presentation should not be more than 10 minutes. The bell will ring once at the 9th minute and twice at the 10th minute. A question and answer section will be conducted after each presentation. Now, I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah Atas Negeri 2 Mojokerto East Java Indonesia to present.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to introduce our team first.
My name is Ade Lulu Islamaya.
My name is Ilham Ramadhani.
And my name is Najwa Aisyah Salsabila from Mandua Mojokerto, East Java, Indonesia. And today, we would like to present our research with SDG 8 Economic Recovery Rising from the Rubbles, entitled The Effectiveness of Marketing 4.0 in Endemic Era to Maximize the Indonesian MSME's Potential for this fully residential school international symposium, which organized by Dato Abdul Razak School, Seremban, Malaysia. The COVID-19 pandemic has a massive impact on all countries in the world, including Indonesia. This pandemic affects all aspects of life, especially in the socio-economic aspect. Due to the existence of the COVID-19 pandemic, unemployment in Indonesia has increased due to the number of layoffs during this pandemic. In this case, the Indonesian government has made several policies to restore the Indonesian economy. For the example, the first policy is multiply the employment opportunities expansion program. The government created this program with the aim of creating new job opportunities and develop existing job opportunities. The second policy is establishing entrepreneurship training and guidance. The purpose of this program is to prepare prospective MSME or micro, small, and medium enterprises entrepreneurs by providing technical guidance, which will improve their knowledge and skill. The third policy is distribution of direct cash assistance for MSME who affected by COVID-19.
But even though the government has created a program to support MSME entrepreneurs, there are still many entrepreneurs who haven't been able to maximize their product marketing because they only use traditional marketing techniques. Therefore, MSME entrepreneurs must immediately move to marketing 4.0 techniques. What is marketing 4.0? So, marketing 4.0 is a marketing approach that combines online and offline interaction between companies and customers. So, the question is, first, how effective are marketing 4.0 in maximizing the potential of MSME? Second, how to implement marketing 4.0 techniques for MSME who still don't understand. This research aims to analyze the effectiveness of marketing 4.0 in maximizing the potential of MSME by knowing the comparison of the effectiveness and explaining how to implement marketing 4.0 for entrepreneurs.
Can you hear us, judges?
Can you hear us? Okay, I repeat again. This research is used experimental method. We have conducted surveys and interviews to several MSME in Mojokerto City, East Java, Indonesia, to take the primary data. While for the secondary data, we took it from Ministry of Cooperative and MSME Indonesia. And according to data from Ministry of Cooperative and MSME Indonesia on May 25th and 2022, according to data from Ministry of Cooperative and MSME on May 25th, 2022, out of around 65 million MSME, only 17.25 million MSME, or approximately 26.5% MSME, has been implemented digital marketing technique. This figure certainly needs to be increased along with the development of people acceptance and preference in online shopping. And after we conducted surveys and interview to several MSME in Mojokerto who work on the different fields such as handcraft, fashion, and F&B. Only 3 out of 10 MSME entrepreneurs has implemented marketing 4.0 technique. And the difference between before and after applying marketing 4.0 is very quite far. And since implementing marketing 4.0, their monthly turnover has increased drastically. And there are a lot of new customers who didn't know their business before was coming. And well, the rest is still don't understand what is marketing 4.0, how to implement, and what does step by step looks like how to applying marketing 4.0 technique.
Marketing 4.0 among people who have not really understand, there are several approach concepts called 5A that can be taken by MSME entrepreneurs in Indonesia to maximize their business, which are as follows. First point is aware. Describes the approach when customers already aware of the product or brand being marketed. This stage is also known as I know. Second point is appeal. This is a condition when the audience becomes interested in the product or brand being sold. They also feel the need and are in the consideration stage to buy. Third point is ask. This stage where the audience or potential customer have finished considering and start finding out the product by asking via online or offline. Fourth point is act. No more barriers preventing audience from buying. At this point, they are ready to make a product purchase. And last point is advocate. This is one of the most valuable piece of the approach for the company. The reason is, in addition to contributing to sales, the audience will act as sales who recommend the product voluntarily.
In one of the books by Philip Kotler, we can get some tips to implement marketing 4.0 to be more effective. The first step is utilizing all marketing media. It should be noted that marketing 4.0 use integration of style and substance, which means the companies must not only prioritize branding but also must be able to maximize all existing marketing media. The second step is offering solution. Marketing 4.0 is an approach strategy that encourages companies to sell the products that are solutions to customers' problem. The third step is find the right customer. It's very important for a business to find the right target market. This has even been done before the marketing 4.0 concept. Fourth, step is know the most interest products. Provided with information about the most in-demand product on the market, you can expand and develop your business in a better direction. The last step is maintain the professionalism of the companies. Work to build a good image among the community by paying attention to all aspects and all existing supporting factors such as service to customer. Based on the research that we have done through experimental method and qualitative data analysis technique, we can conclude that marketing 4.0 is quite even very effective to use today because it can provide information and interact directly with customer, expand market share, and increase awareness and sales for MSME. Well, ladies and gentlemen, although the COVID-19 pandemic has left a huge impact on the country's economy, we still have the opportunity to restore the country's economy by switching to marketing 4.0. We are optimistic that this change can bring the Indonesian economy, which had slumped due to COVID-19, to a better direction. So that's all our presentation. We apologize if there's any mistake that we made. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, presenters, for the interesting presentation just now. Now, I would like to invite participants to ask questions. If there are no participants who would like to ask questions, I would like to pass to the judge to ask questions.
Hello, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all of you. Yeah, in the middle of your presentation, some of the slides were missing. Was that purposely done or there was a technical problem? If so, can you show me the slides again? The slides that were missing earlier. Anybody can show that? Yeah, after that, we have seen this, and then after that, there was... Okay.
Wait a minute, sir.
Okay, and then after that, can just click on and then this one. Sorry, the one before this, before conclusion. Before this one I want to see.
This.
Okay. Okay, then the conclusion. Okay, just my question. You're talking about marketing 4.0. Can you explain to me, to all of us, what is marketing 4.0?
So I will answer your question. So marketing 4.0 is a approach strategy that combines online and offline interaction between companies and customers.
And then my next question will be, what is the difference between this and omni marketing? Have you heard of the word omni marketing? What's the difference? Or yeah.
Okay, I will answer. Okay, difference marketing 4.0 and between other marketing is Marketing 4.0 that's combine online and offline interaction. And this marketing help the enterprise to provide information on their customer. And hmm, that's it. Okay, that's my answer.
Thank you. Uh, Thank you, judges, for the interesting question just now. That marks the end of this presentation. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the judges, teachers, guests, and participants of FRSIS 2022. Now, I'd like to introduce our judges for today. The Chief Judge, Mr. Abu Bakar Ngah, Distinguished Toastmasters. The second judge is Miss Nur Adila binti Sulimai from SMS Sabah. And the third judge is Miss Nur Azlina binti Mat Saad from the Malay College Kuala Kangsar. And I, Danish Iman from Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak, while the timekeepers Muhammad Zikri Shazwan bin Mahathir and Aman Nur Hakim bin Azmi are from Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak as well. Let me read the rules. Each team should consist of presenters and a technical assistant. The presentation must focus on the sub-team assigned to the team. The duration of the presentation should not be more than 10 minutes. The bell will ring once at the 9 minute and twice at the 10 minute. A Q&A session will be conducted after each presentation. Now, I would like to invite Saint Mark Senior Secondary Public School, Mirabag, India to present.
Greetings, my name is Danit Kaulamba.
Hello everyone, my name is Krish Vishwakarma. Greetings everyone, myself Ansh Chadha.
And my name is Jasraj Singh, and we are from St. Mark's Senior Secondary Public School, Mirabag, New Delhi, India. Our topic for today's presentation is post-pandemic recovery of Indian economy. Overview.
2020-21 was an unforgettable phase. Deaths, loss of jobs, increasing unemployment, closure of workplace was at a high degree. But even now, in 2022,
many people are still finding it difficult to secure a job. Inflation is touching roofs and there is lack of job security.
To understand this topic in detail, we conducted a bunch of surveys and interviews. We briefly examined the responses filled in by the respondents in the online survey forms. We asked them what problems are still persisting. The respondents also came up with various thoughts on how to bring back the economy in shape. We also asked them if the government's plans of action was satisfactory enough for their needs. We also conducted a few interviews where we got to know about the current economic crisis in depth.
In the exclusive interviews, we interviewed people belonging to 4 different working class. We interviewed an economics teacher, an economics expert, a housewife, and an MNC employee.
So when COVID struck in 2020, Indian economy for the last decade or so before that was already in the downtrend. The employment was already very, very less. The COVID upsurged all the things. Now, during COVID, what happened was that infrastructure, hotel, agriculture, employment, everything freezed. Moment it freezed, it led to a lot of cyclical repercussions and the downtrend began. Now, after the COVID has been over, what we have observed is that unemployment is on a hike.
Yes.
Inflation is very high.
Yes.
And economic recession is soon going to strike India by next year. It has already reached Europe, it's going to reach India also.
Hello, I am Mrs. Harinder Kaur. The economy had witnessed a slump where during the COVID, which showed a reversal in the post-COVID era, the economy has actually rose from its ashes. A similar effect was my micro household level also, where the luxuries, lavish purchases, increase in consumption, reduction in saving were all powered by a confident outlook towards the future.
Are you satisfied with the government policies post-pandemic?
No, I am not, as government has taken many steps regarding that, but it was not that much impactful. Government could take more better steps regarding to the citizens, and because citizen has suffered a lot.
The prices of everything has risen post COVID. If we could balance it out, neutralize it in ways, maybe getting subsidies on food items or what we are exporting, what we are importing from other countries, if we could get subsidy on the taxes of everything that we are buying every day, that would reduce the price cost. We could have done more. I mean, we means the government had could have done more in terms of balancing out or containing the inflation. That they haven't done. Otherwise, I think our government has done quite a lot.
Coming on to the observations from the survey forms, uh, 57% of the people believe that their economic conditions were suffered as a result of the pandemic, while 24.1% believe that they didn't really suffer. The remaining 19% weren't sure about it. 72.2% of the people believe that pandemic resulted in shifting them below the poverty line, while 21.5% believe that pandemic didn't really contribute in this, and 6.3 weren't sure.
Closure of workplaces is what most of the people felt was a problem faced by their families during the pandemic. Almost 35% of our respondents felt that reduced salaries was a major problem faced. 11% also thought that a major problem faced was loss of jobs, and same percent believed that they were deprived of the basic family needs. Many also believe that there was no such problem, when 1.3% believe that they faced loss in businesses, and nearly the same percentage of the people believe that they lost their family members, which caused loss in sorrow. Employment generation is what maximum responses of belief could help in bringing back the economy in shape. The next most favored choice was to make a country self-sufficient. The next big alternative chosen was advancing travel and the tourism sector, increasing production post-COVID, increasing jobs in tertiary sector, reduction in disguised unemployment, making public sector strong, opening new government institutions were some of the solutions that our respondents came up with. One more thing, 28% of the total respondents believe that the government didn't do its best, while almost 50% weren't sure if the government policies helped or not. Lastly, only 24% were satisfied by the government policies.
Coming on to solutions, respondents also came up with a few solutions which could help in bringing back economy in shape. Investing in public sector is what most of the people suggested. Properly targeted public investment can do much to boost the economic performance of a country, generating aggregated demand, quickly fueling productivity growth by improving human capital, encouraging technological innovation, and spurring private sector investments by increasing returns. Empower the consumers. When brand empower consumers, in many ways, it inspires greater loyalty in them. And it's easier to sell the customers than acquire new prospectors and sell the products to them. Promotion of new career opportunities. Many modern companies create powerful strategies for their brand awareness. Even British Army uses social media to recruit new army members. This approach works well on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
Now, as far as India as a country is concerned, it saw a slew of changes in its corporate regime with the amendment in the Companies Act. The introduction of the Startup of India, initiated by the government, is a major milestone. The benefits of Startup India program are many and has been crucial in the growth of entrepreneurship culture in India. It is an opportunity for the generation of employment, wealth, and promotion of indigenous industries. Now, a question may rise into your mind. How is public planning to overcome their financial problems? One of the respondents said that they will encourage their mother to take up a job, while another respondent said that they will not be overburdening their family members with any unnecessary demands. One more aspect in the project of India was Make in India project was launched by the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. Date of commencement was September 2014, and the vision was zero defect and effect. Its significance was to generate employment opportunities, increase the GDP by expanding economic growth, when FDI inflow becomes more than a rupee will be strengthened. Small manufacturers will get a thrust, particularly when investors from abroad invest in them. When countries invest in India, they will also bring the latest technologies in various fields.
Life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. With this quote, we'd like to bring our presentation to an end and thank everyone who was involved in the presentation. Thank you everyone. We are now open to questions.
Thank you for the interesting presentation. Now it's time for the Q&A session.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My question will be okay. As you know, India has a lot of experts in technology, IT, and all that. So what's your view on in terms of digital transformation in helping India to to um, to to improve from the current economic situation? How do you see it? Digital transformation, digitalization, and all that? Yeah.
Well, talking about digitalization in India, so digitalization has played a very important role in bringing success in Indian economy by providing new job opportunities to the youth in the IT sector, and it has bring about an immense push to the young generation to take up new career opportunities in the IT sector.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. Okay, my question is, can you share with us your challenges or problem while completing your research?
Yes, so basically, some of the challenges we faced was a lot of opinions coming from a lot of people who had filled our survey forms. So basically, we received a totality of 70 to 80 responses, and there were many opinions on various aspects. For example, how the governments are working, the solutions that people came up with, and to cope up with the problems that people were facing. I guess this was the main problem that we faced during our research to comply them and sort them out for further research purposes.
Thank you, presenters, for answering the judges' question. Now marks the final of this presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the judges, teachers, guests, and participants of FRSIS 2022. Now, I'd like to introduce our judges for today. Filling in as the chief judge is Mr. Abu Bakar Ngah, Distinguished Toastmasters. The second judge being Miss Nur Adilas binti Sulimah from Sekolah Menengah Sains Sabah. And finally, the third judge is Miss Nur Azlina binti Mat Saad from the Malay College Kuala Kangsar. And I, Daniel Arif bin Azhari from Sekolah Dato Abdul Razak, while the timekeepers Muhammad Zikri Sazwan bin Mahathir and Amar Nur Hakim bin Azmi are from Sekolah Dato Abdul Razak. Now, I would like to read the rules. First and foremost, each team should consist of presenters and a technical assistant. Second, the presentation must focus on the sub-team assigned to the team. Third, the duration of the presentation should not be more than 10 minutes. Fourth, the bell will be rung once at the 9th minute and twice at the 10th minute. And finally, a question and answer session will be conducted after each presentation. Now, I would like to invite the Kabataş Erkek High School from Turkey to present.
Hello, dear juries, esteemed members of this wonderful symposium's host school, Sekolah Dato Abdul Razak, and all the audiences listening to us at the moment. Greetings from Istanbul, Turkey. My name is Engin, and we are the second team of Kabataş Erkek High School. My friends Yiğit and Doruk will present our presentation after they introduce themselves. We have been working for this presentation for weeks, and hopefully you will enjoy to listen us. Now I would like to give my friend Yiğit the floor.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to start by presenting our presentation about post-COVID economic recovery. So, COVID-19 has been a massive pandemic and it had effects on many things. Like our travel plans have been cancelled. Many people have been sick, and it affected many things. And economy is no exception to this. So, let's get started with our table of contents. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about, first of all, COVID-19's effects on economy. Then we're going to talk about safety before reopening and why it is important to make sure it is safe to reopen. Then we're going to talk about economic systems and the best economic system we should go on with post-COVID economic recovery. Then we're going to talk about how to establish economic recovery. And finally, we are going to talk about the possible GDP recovery graphs after the COVID-19. So, COVID-19's effects on economy. So, first of all, stock markets around the world had a massive decrease, such as Nikkei index or Jandos. This did not only affect the investors, this also affected individual saving accounts, and central banks started to drop interest rates to encourage people to spend more, and we just take the economy. So, yeah. And also, this increased the unemployment rate because of the COVID-19 restrictions. Many people lost their jobs, and according to the IMF data, United States hit an employment rate of 10.4%, which was their record in history. Transport sector was also damaged severely. Because of the ban on flights, customers decided to cancel their vacation plans, and airline businesses especially lost lots of revenue. And also this caused to the petrol prices to went down to the lowest point in the 18 years. Trust. During the lockdown, people went crazy about online shopping. Everyone started to shop online and prefer it over face-to-face shopping, and the way people shop was changed. According to the study done by EY Partner, 1,000 people, more than half of the customers said that they will be continuing online shopping even after the pandemic, and it changed the way we shop during our lives. And also, before we reopen the economy, we should first make sure we are safe, because if we are not careful enough, we are going to be hit by a second wave, which will cause the economy to plunge even deeper. And also, it may have serious casualties. So, first, we have to make sure that we have enough healthcare testing and contact tracing capacity before we reopen, because without them, in case of a second wave, we are going to be hit even harder than first wave. And then we have to make sure people, especially in the service industry, such as teachers, are vaccinated, and we have to still keep some mild regulations before we move on from this to ensure a safe reopening. Now, my friend Dork will explain different economic systems and which one is the best for economic recovery.
Hello everyone, I'm Dork from Kabataş Architecture, and I will talk about the economic systems to recover the economy and the best economic system to do that. First system I will talk about is traditional economies. It's based on goods, services, and works, so it relies on a lot of people, and it's also ancient. That's why it's the most basic economic system I'm going to talk about. And there are usually very few resources, so in a situation, the country may not be able to use that resources that it needs to use. So we can go on with the next economic system. It's command economies. It's actually applied on communist countries. So there is a dominant centralized authority, and it's rigid compared to other economic systems, and it's also vulnerable. And we can go on with the next economic system. And the market economies, its other name is capitalism. It's based on the concept of free markets, so it depends on private sector and companies which are private. And there is a very little government interference compared to command economies. And growth is also higher than other systems because there are so many different companies that can produce goods. And it allows private entities to amass a lot of economic power. And here is mixed economies. This is a combination of the command and market economic systems. Most industries are private in this economic system, and it's also known as dual system because it's a combination, and it's under strict regulatory control. Now, this is the best economic system, mixed economies, because it allows many more freedoms, and it has a high level of state participation compared to market economies. and it has various restrictions on businesses, and it ensures the maximum standard of living for the population as a whole. Now, I'm going to talk about how can we establish the economic recovery. First, we should increase the investment, and it's one of the most important things that we need to do. How we can do it, we should provide direct capital injections through investments and loans and grants. We should inject capital into the banking system, because if a banking system bankrupts, the economy can't work properly. And last, we should increase activity through public-private partnership structures, and it's also about mixed economic systems. And we can go on with the second one. We should increase revenue. We should increase direct government spending on public use assets like underground systems or airports, and we should promote domestic spending on domestically produced goods. This provides exportation of goods instead of importing them, and we should encourage spending from international markets through renegotiated or new trade agreements. And the third one is we should reduce costs. This is important because it enables businesses to produce more goods with lower prices, and we should provide concessions on government services. And the fourth one is we should encourage innovation. I think, and we think it's the most important part, because if we can't invent things or create new things, we can't produce goods to export. And the fifth one is we should support workforce readiness, because we need people to work to produce new things. Thank you.
And now I will explain, after we have done all that, how will the GDP recovery graph will look like. So there are 4 main scenarios and 2 sub-scenarios for V-shape and U-shape. In this case, the first and most optimistic one is the V-shape. In V-shape, there is this immediate growth after the restrictions are lifted. Everyone wants to shop, and it will suddenly go back to the normals, and also there is another variation of this called Z-shaped graph. In that case, the pent-up demand will make the GDP graph even go above before the pandemic line, and after that it will stabilize. These are the most optimistic ones. And then there is U-shape. In U-shape, there is a slow recovery because of the lost trust, and also in another variation of this is called Nike shoe shape, which takes it from a famous shoe brand. In that case, it also takes the sudden outburst, but also because of the lost trust, it will recover slowly after that. And then in W shape, if we do not take enough healthcare measures, we will be hit by multiple waves and rebounds of things, and it will take a longer time for economy to recover. And finally, the most pessimistic one is the L shape. In that case, economy will never go back to normals, and this is the one we should avoid. And I believe that the best one out of all these is the U-shaped graph, because people lost their trust because of the pandemic, and it will take a long time to recover. Thanks for listening. And these are our references. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for the stimulating and thought-provoking presentation. Now, I would like to open the Q&A session. If any of you have any questions, feel free to fill in your curiosity now.
Hi, a very good afternoon. Good morning to Turkey. Well, just now I saw that there's a type of economic recovery that is the quick recovery, right? So I'm wondering what are the factors that can affect the speed of economic recovery so that we can recover faster? Thank you.
Well, I would like to answer that question. Well, there are many things affecting the economic recoveries, the measures the governments have taken, or in how hard the second waves of the pandemic will hit. There are many factors in that, but the speed of the economy is not exactly one or two things. So, but it will not be as quick recovery because many people lost their trust to the shopping and spending in the lockdown. So it will not be fast, but yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, greetings. So just now you have mentioned about the best economic system for the post-pandemic economy, which is the mixed economy. But there is no solid evidence that mixed economies is the best system for economic recovery in the post-pandemic era. For example, let's take the European Union. You might say that the European Union is a market economy, but European Union, through EU institutions, had enforced many regulations through their markets to help European Union countries to recover in the post-pandemic phase. But what do we see today? Yes, euro currency is dropping, and European Union is faced with overwhelming economic crisis. So, don't you think that the actual solution to economic recovery in the post-pandemic phase is much more complicated than just mixing market economy and common economy together to form mixed economy? Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to answer this question. I think the mixed economy is the best one because we thought that it's the best one because the command economy is rigid, and as I said, it's vulnerable because there are no actual private companies to provide goods when government can't provide them. And the market economy is the opposite of the common economy, so it's only depends on private companies. So if the private companies went down and they are bankrupt, so they cannot produce goods. But in a mixed economic system, they all support, the government supports private companies and private companies supports the government. So uh, they can just manage to produce things or come up with things, and there will be no bankruptcy. Thank you.
Now, would the judges like to give any questions?
Okay, just one question. You mentioned about your recommendation, a lot of we should do this, we should do this. Who are we?
I can answer this question. So we are the government and the people lives in the country, but mostly uh, what I stated as we is the government, and actually we can include some uh, powerful companies in our country, but actually the we is government. Thank you for your question.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, when you put we, it's like so many things. It could be anybody, yeah. So, and also normally it should be specific. Like the government should do this. One example in terms of innovation, for example. So the government should initiate, I don't know, somehow innovation blueprint or whatever, yeah, to guide the innovation for the country or something like that. I mean, it is more specific. It will be more powerful instead of just put a general statement like that. Yeah. Okay. That's my comment. Thanks.
Hello. Good evening. Good afternoon. Sorry. Okay. Can you share with us what are the initiatives taken by your government to boost the post-pandemic economy of your country? Thank you.
Well, I would like to answer that question. First of all, tourism was encouraged highly, especially in the summer season by our government. And also, after that, there's a boost in online shopping. So new jobs by delivery have gotten more popular. And also, generally, those are the things that. Thank you.
Thank you, dear judges and dear participants, for the questions, and thank you, dear presenter, for the answers. With the end of the Q&A session, that marks the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the judges, teachers, guests, and participants of FRSIS 2022. Now, I'd like to introduce our judges for today. The chief judge is Mr. Abu Bakanga, Distinguished Toastmasters. The second judge is Miss Nur Adilah binti Sulimai from SMS Sabah. And the third judge is Miss Nur Aslina binti Mat Saad from the Malay College Kuala Kangsar. And I, Danish Iman, from Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak, while the timekeepers Muhammad Zikri Syazwan bin Mahadi and Aman Nur Hakim bin Azmi are from Sekolah Dato' Abdul Razak as well. Now, allow me to read the rules. Each team should consist of presenters and a technical assistant. The presentation must focus on the sub-team assigned to the team. The duration of the presentation should not be more than 10 minutes. The bell will ring once at the 9th minute and twice at the 10th minute. A Q&A session will be conducted after each presentation. Now, I would like to invite Sekolah Menengah Atas Negeri 1 Purworejo, Indonesia to present.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our presentation. In this presentation, we have 3.5 Economic Recovery Rising from the Rubbles. And our title is Economic Revival After Pandemic. Well, let me introduce my team. My name is Rachel Bidangani Luciafi, and there are my partners, Lutfi, Salsabila, and Albertus. And of course, our supervising teachers is Ms. Sri Manani. We are Team 2 from Sekolah Menengah Atas Negeri 1 Purworejo, Indonesia. Moving on to background. The World Health Organization on March 11, 2020 has declared the coronavirus outbreak a global pandemic. The pandemic brought serious impacts on economic sectors. Many economic sectors are inoperable and experiencing a crisis. This was getting worse as the countries imposed an emergency public activity restriction or lockdown. The employees, and the potential buyers had gotten the major impact as they tightly isolated themselves due to the prevention of the spread of the COVID-19 virus. That's why we're conducting research about the effects of COVID-19 lockdown on global economy.
Next session is problems. In this presentation, we would like to inform you about first, what are the differences between economy during and after pandemic in different countries? Second, what are the causes of economic downturn? Third, what are the impacts on society? What method do you use? Do research through economic websites such as Data, Journal, and other trusted websites. We collected some information from various websites, and here are the results.
I will inform you of the difference between the economy during and after the pandemic. For example, use data economic of India, China, Indonesia. Taken from Sage Data, China, as the first country to spread the virus COVID-19, experienced an economic decline of up to minus 6.9% in the first quarter. India, which experienced the highest case, also experienced the most decline and was at minus 23.8% around the middle of 2020. What about Indonesia? Indonesia experienced a decline of up to minus 5.3% in the middle of the first quarter. At the first quarter of the year, India has been increases the economy to 13.5% in the middle of the year. Followed by China, which managed to increase its economy until 4.8% at the beginning of the year. And Indonesia has declined due to the fact that several economic sectors were able to operate during the pandemic, makes company owners, employees, and prospective buyers unable to carry out economic activities. Based on the data that has been described, what are the causes of the economic downturn? The causes is
The world's unpreparedness for the pandemic reached suddenly and was classified as a new virus, causing no preparation to face the pandemic in all sectors, including the economic sectors.
So, how did the pandemic impact the world economy? The impact of pandemic on the economy led to low investor sentiment towards the market. It ultimately turned the market in a negative direction. This is due to the policy of social restriction and regular quarantine, so that economic activity will be hampered. The decline in economic growth can also be followed by other economic impacts such as an increase in unemployment. This is because during the pandemic, many companies were disrupted, so many employees have to be laid off. Not only that, many ports and airports were closed due to the government's lockdown policy. So, with great convulsion, cooperation between countries must be stopped or temporarily postponed until an undetermined time. Of course, after the situation begins to improve, many factories have suffered losses. The traveling business, especially traveling abroad, has really slumped, so that many companies have laid off their employees because they are unable to pay their salaries, and getting jobs becomes more difficult.
Problem solving. Based on the data analysis, we conclude that the economy during the pandemic has been dropped. So, I propose you how to make the economy better over time. First, look for opportunities around the area. Create a startup in your surrounding. Find out what the community needs. Analyze them and start the correct startup. This can be new power in local cafe and eatery. Second, create a creative economy market. Create a creative economy market become something new in society. It will make a big progress that push the community to increase buying and selling. We can, we can open a cheap bazaar which contain of the basic ingredients of daily activities. Third, support local micro, small, and medium enterprises. Support local micro, small, and medium enterprises to increase the cultural attractiveness of the local area. For example, increasing the production of local fruits such as mangosteen and durian. So, finally, from our presentation, it can be concluded that first, the economy during the pandemic have a significant decline. Second, some of the government's efforts to improve the economy have a good impact on the community. For example, the PEN program in Indonesia. Third, the current economic growth curve get pandemic.
Ladies and gentlemen, and our beloved audience, that brings us to the end of presentation. May all those we have shared be beneficial for all of us. Thank you for your interest and attention.
Menurut Wikipedia, Hussein Jafar Al-Hadar and Bill.
Thank you, presenters, for the wonderful presentation. Now, I'd like to open the Q&A session. So please do give questions and fill up your curiosity.
Hi, a very good afternoon. So, I was wondering, are there any fields that can't completely economically recover? Like maybe there are also some certain fields that actually recovered better than what it used to be.
Alright, so answer the questions. So, We can create a program which program that sorry. So sorry.
Okay, I will answer the question. We can create a program like in Indonesia, like PEN. Uh, so the main purpose of the PEN program is to protect, maintain, and improve the economic capacity of the community, especially like business owners in running their business during the pandemic. Thank you.
I see. Thank you.
All right, greetings. So just now you have mentioned that creating a creative economy is one of the solutions to tackle the current problem facing the global economy. I agree with that. However, we need to look that not all countries in the world have the research and development talent pool to actually develop a creative economy. Developing a creative economy requires a high education level and a high skilled workforce to first develop into. However, many lower income nations just didn't have enough research and development, science and technology experts to actually develop a creative economy, as you have mentioned. So, what are your recommendations and suggestions to tackle these problems that I have mentioned? Thank you.
Okay, I will answer the question. So we can support the local brand in your area, so that can make so that increase the economy in your surrounding. Thank you.
Thank you for the mind fulfilling Q&A session. After the Q&A session has ended, that marks the end of this presentation, which also means that it wraps up FRSIS 2022 presentations for Sub-Team 5. We would like to thank all the judges for your time and commitment to make FRSIS possible. Thank you.